me wanna holler, go away. I need more peace and hope and love. Where do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I got strategies for living, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
Oh, we need them. Yeah, we need those strategies, don't we? Those strategies for living. So are you ready? Are you ready for your daily dose? Your daily dose of radio rehab.
Oh, I think I'm ready.
All right, do you?
I think so.
Nobody told me.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody.
Nobody told you?
Nobody told me.
Well, I'm telling you, there's no script for life, if that's what you're asking
Well,
for.
I mean,
I thought there might be one. For a long time, I thought
You thought there was-
everybody had one except me.
I thought that too. I really did. But
I said, where did I miss out?
But was I absent that day when they handed the instructions out, or what's
the user
the deal?
guide, the manual.
Yeah, but there's some things, Lauren, that nobody tells us until it's too late. Some realities about life that nobody warns you about. That's what I want to focus on today here on Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillian. She is psychotherapist, PLPC, Lauren Leon McMillian. And obviously, neither of us got the instructions.
No, I don't know that there are any.
Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna push and challenge that a little bit because I've got 12 of them here. 12 realities about life that nobody warns you about.
Oh, okay.
And so we're gonna we like to do things like this where we throw things out and talk about them. And
so this way our listeners can't say nobody told me.
Yeah, no,
Is
they
that the
can't.
idea?
They can't pull my deal off and say nobody told me. Yeah. My grandkids love to hear that.
Oh yeah, they come in and roll their eyes as soon as they hear it.
Nobody told me.
And they just look at me like, really?
Yeah, really. What have you done?
What's he doing now?
Oh well. Folks, thank you for tuning into Strategies for Living. We appreciate you being here with us. And we appreciate our sponsors who make it all possible. The Robinson Film Center and Azalea Cleaners and Pintail Roofing. Learning RX. We train your brain. The Balanced Life Wellness Center. Fertitas Delicatessen, home of The Godfather. Alligator Italian Sausage. Pretty good muffies, too. SRT Sales Training. Uprising Addiction Center. And Mira, Direct Primary Care. Nobody tells us some things that we really need to know, some realities about life that nobody warns us about. That's today here on Strategies for Living. Come back and join us.
Tune in daily, find the light. Healthy mind and spirits bright. Strategies for living strong. Feel the vibe, it won't go wrong. Body moves and soul align. Catch the rhythm, feel the time. Radio rehab every day. Chase those clouds of gray away. Your daily dose of radio rehab. Lift you up when skies seem trapped. Mind and body, spirits free. Living life in harmony.
And welcome into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian. I don't know how dependable I am at this kind of thing because I was absent a lot in first grade. I really didn't understand. I really didn't understand the first grade thing. I mean, I had been to kindergarten.
Right.
I was educated.
Yeah.
I got a certificate.
I didn't even get a kindergarten graduation.
Oh, well, see. And I thought I was through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I could understand if you graduated.
I graduated. I mean, what more do they want?
Uh-huh.
But turns out, even though first grade was a shock, I did get through it.
With
and
your girlfriend of a teacher.
Sister Mercedes,
Yes.
yeah. I had it made in the first grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the second grade, I had Mrs. Gunn. Oh no. Talk about extremes. Mrs. Gunn, back in that day, her favorite thing to do was to go up and down the aisles and grab your hair. And she'd do this to guys and girls. She'd grab a piece of hair and kind of knot the head a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, back in that day.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a different
I don't think
day.
She could have gotten away with that.
Maybe not, but nonetheless, it was a
Nonetheless.
nonetheless.
Right? She was a nun.
No,
right?
she was Mrs. Gunn was not a
she
nun.
was not a nun.
No,
Okay.
and it was a cold, cruel reality after Sister Mercedes, who was so nice and so sweet
Right.
to us first graders. So
Well, such
maybe
is
that's
life.
maybe that's one of the reasons that I missed some of these realities about life that nobody warns you about. The first one is not everyone you love will stay. People change, priorities shift, some chapters end quietly.
Yeah.
Um,
I think there's a particular type, that is a particular type of grief that we don't talk enough about.
You're probably right.
Right.
Because
I mean,
I have experienced this on multiple occasions.
Sure, I think we all have.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, you're right. Whether you are the leaver or the leavee, there is.
Or I would argue, even if you both decide,
it could be together.
Mutually, that it is important for you to part ways. There is still
no matter what,
always a grief there.
there's a grief process.
Yeah, because you have to fill that void in your life. We connect with people based on our values and where we align, right? And so as those shift over time,
right,
we part, whether by death or divorce, right?
Well, again, I mentioned Bob Roush,
Right.
and that's another
that's
thing.
A Rouseism.
That's a Rouseism. He would say all relationships end by death or divorce. And I can remember the first time he said it on the air, I just kind of clenched my teeth. But the more I thought about it, the more that I understood, well, that's true.
Right.
All relationships do end, and it's either going to be by death or divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other part that I don't think that we talk enough about or understand well enough is that is simply often a part of life. Whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship, it can be incredibly important and powerful for both parties involved to separate and to continue life on their own separate journeys.
Like this reality says, people change and priorities shift. And I like that it says chapters. Some chapters end quietly because relationships in our lives are, in a sense, chapters of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They become important chapters.
Yeah. Now, when you think about something that we stand in front of a minister or a judge or a justice of the peace or a priest, and we say, till death do us part, how do we, how do we align?
I still think that's true.
Yeah?
I do.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
Well, whether or not you're physically with each other till death, you will carry a part of them with you to your death.
Oh, that's a great. That's a great way to.
It's an inevitable truth.
Till death do you part. Whether you physically part or not, you are still carrying that person within you.
And that doesn't mean like
death.
You're carrying the memory. It doesn't even mean that you're carrying the memory of them or shared experiences. What I mean is that in any relationship, when we come together, we're bound to transform one another.
Absolutely.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's that transformation that you carry with you for the rest of your life.
Right.
Right? And whether or not you carry the memories or care to cherish them or not, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Till death do us part means when we interact, we're going to be shaped. We're going to shape one another. We're co-creating something. We're co-creating each other together.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of Bob a lot, but that's another thing Dr. Roush used to say when he was supervising me 30 some odd years ago. He said, you know, you go into the counseling room. He said, somebody's going to change in there. He said, the key is it going to be the client or is it going to be you?
Well, and
which is a provocative question.
Well, yeah,
you know?
and sometimes I think I would say, hopefully, almost most of the time, it's
maybe
both.
Yeah,
right. I mean, that's the point of relationships.
Absolutely. Number 2, hard work doesn't always pay off immediately, and sometimes it takes years, and sometimes it looks unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is a big one especially for the younger generation that's coming up now in all of the in this age of instant gratification.
Yeah. And a lot of kids today who have been raised with all of the instant stuff, you know, they have to be somehow, some way taught that, you know, the virtue of patience and hard work. Yeah.
Well, and not only that, but then further than that is this truth, which is that hard work doesn't pay off immediately.
No.
You know?
No. Not always. I mean, sometimes it does. But but it doesn't always pay off immediately. And you know, I remember my time at Jesuit High School. I struggled the first 2 years. To adjust coming out of a little small grade school that Christ the King over in Bossier and going to Jesuit wasn't a huge school, but it was huge to me in relationship to coming out of the small little private grade school that was across the street from my house. And so I struggled the first 2 years. I mean, I did okay. I passed. But it took me a while.
It was an adjustment period.
It took me some perseverance. And so, and the last 2 years, I was on the honor roll. But it took a while, took a minute. And so when I finally figured out, well, you know, nobody's going to cut me slack here, then you got to go to work. Number 3, you outgrow people, and that's okay. Growth often comes with distance.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's very related to that first reality. Right. And we already kind of touched on some of this. But sometimes it can be very important for two people to go and grow apart.
Grow.
For both of them.
And if the communication is good and you know, if you are both on the same page here, it's also wonderful to grow together, you know, and to challenge each other, but to stay current with each other, you know, and stay up to date with each other. Where are we now and what's next for us? What are we tackling next? Number 4, being a good person doesn't guarantee good treatment. Kindness isn't always returned. Oh man, this is a big one in our world today.
It really is, and I think it comes from a place of there's a balance between, yes, we do need each other, but we shouldn't have to over-rely. There should be some level of healthy interdependence between all of us. As a friendship within a couple, within two people, but then also within the community and then the world.
You know, if you don't have that, interdependence/independence, you know, then you risk codependence. I was in a conversation last week with a gentleman who And he said this to me. He said, he said, I know I'm a reasonably smart guy, and he is. He's a very brilliant guy. But he said, I keep reading this term codependence, and he said, I've read this definition and that definition and this definition, and I don't really understand what codependence really is.
It can be quite the psychobabble term
at
this point.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I said, it's been battered around so much that it almost falls into psychobabble. Mm-hmm. But codependence is when you lose yourself in the relationship with another. Mm. It's usually depicted with two circles, overlapping themselves.
Yeah.
When in reality, a healthy relationship is two whole circles who are touching,
yes,
but not overlapping.
And so there becomes three in the relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There becomes a you and a me and a we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
all three can coexist.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a holy trinity, if you will.
It is a holy trinity. And again, it challenges us to stay current and communicate. Talk about it.
Yep.
A lot. We're talking about some realities today that nobody warns you about in life. Maybe until it's too late. Hopefully not. Maybe we're all plugged in and learning today here on Strategies for Living. We've got much more. We'll be back. Come back with us.
Facing the same old problems day to day makes you wanna holler, get away. Looking for the road that'll get me there. Looking for hope and peace to spare. Looking for strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
Well, if you just happen to be looking for strategies, you've come to the right place.
Oh, yeah. There they are.
Here they are. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren, Leon McMillian, David McMillian. And we're talking today about some realities that it takes a while. Nobody tells you this. Maybe it needs to be told, but I don't know where you would do this in grade school or middle school or even high school, but
I would hope with the coming and as we shift towards a more expansive education that these sorts of things can become included in growth and development of our young people.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping we're recognizing now how much more important they are than we once believed, and really how foundational they are to the normal educational stuff. Children need to feel safe and heard and understood in order to learn in the best way, to take the most in.
And, and as we move through these, Lauren, you might consider the questions, which of these hits you the hardest? And whichever one it is, whichever one you hear that seems to stand out, well, the challenge would be really focus on that for yourself.
I'd encourage you to journal about it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Talk with somebody about it.
Yeah. Number 5, these are all important, but I think number 5 gets a double asterisk from me, okay? Peace is more valuable than being right. Winning arguments can cost relationships. And, this is certainly true in intimate relationships and marriages, right? This is certainly true. But it's also true.
Beyond that.
It's also true between communities, between organizations, between countries, but within our world today. And, I don't think we think about it enough.
No, and I think one of the things I saw recently, somebody, actually I think one of my friends online where it was talking about we need to remember that when we get into an argument, there's always going to be somebody right and somebody wrong. And
that's what an argument is. Yeah. However, let's step back and look at there's two ways of perceiving whatever happens to be going on.
Well, there's more than two ways, right? I mean, I'm a firm believer in that there's 8 billion of us for a reason, right?
Yeah,
and so there's 8 billion realities through which the divine, the universe, the source,
expresses itself. Yeah.
Whatever you believe all that is can express and understand itself.
Yeah.
And so there really is, from my perspective, there is no true right or wrong. There are always multifaceted perspectives through which to see and experience the world that we're creating together.
You know, Gary Tiemann, who often appears here,
he just appears.
He started his career as he's I would say he's probably the dean of clinical social workers. He's been doing it a long time. Yeah. But he started his experience on the mental health team at Angola.
Right.
And he made a point, either the last time or time before last, that he was on the radio with us. And he said, there's a lot of stories, in prison. And he said, but when I truly heard and understood the person's story, I could understand why they did what they did.
Yep.
Now, he wasn't saying
that doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make it okay. He wasn't saying let's let them out. No, but how important is it to be understood?
Incredibly.
Yeah.
Right? And it also hits on another point, right? And that's that peace often requires humility. As opposed to superiority, which we see a lot of out in the world, right? It requires this humbling, and when I mean humbling, I don't mean to make yourself less than or inferior, but in a very human sense of the word, to see into each other's humanness.
Into me see.
Yeah.
Intimacy. Right. Yeah. Number 6, you'll miss opportunities because of fear, and you'll remember them longer than your failures. Oh, that's an important one too.
Yeah, it is.
How many of us stay so gripped in fear and anxiety that we're stymied. We're stymied in life.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people, I think, that don't even realize or recognize or acknowledge that what they are stuck in is fear.
You're right. And again, I think
because it can often feel like logic.
Yes.
Or hesitation.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Or anger.
Yep. Yep.
Or stubbornness.
Fear expresses in a lot of ways. And that's why I like how you challenge people to journal. Because a lot of times when you either meditate on something or you journal on something, wow. What shows up on the page, I didn't realize that.
Where did that come from?
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it came from inside of you.
Right.
But the thing is, some of that stuff that's inside of us is shadow.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff is not conscious. It's underneath it's in our subconscious.
I like to think of the shadow, parts therapy often calls the shadows the exiles.
Right.
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 And so if you think of it that way, that explains why they'll come up in activities like journaling or meditation.
Yep.
Because if you I think of them almost as little children who have been, hiding away.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're not going to come out when things are loud and boisterous and exciting. They're only going to feel safe to come out when it's safe.
Yeah.
When you're quiet.
Yeah.
And when you provide this environment in which they can slowly creep out and say, "Hey, I've been here.
Yeah.
And I need some help."
If you want to know more about parts therapy, there's lots and lots written about it. It's called formerly internal
family systems.
Yeah. And it's a very rich theory, and yet, like a lot of, it reminds me of the simplicity of it. It's simple. The simplicity of it reminds me of transactional analysis. Another very simple, easy way to understand human behavior. But, what you call parts therapy, internal family systems, is a very, very powerful way to understand human behavior. Truly is. Number 7 is time with loved ones is limited. One day, it won't be an option anymore.
Yep.
I guess this is, an ego thing, right? Our ego wants us to believe that we've got forever, and we'll be around forever. And
on one level we do, though.
On one level we do, but not in this
particular body, in this particular mind, in this particular form.
In this expression. We only get one in this particular expression. Yes, we believe very, very profoundly that we go on as soul, as spirit, and we continue.
Yeah.
But again, I think one of the things the Christian church is right about is the focus on you get one opportunity, you get one lifetime, make the most of it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't necessarily agree a lot of the places they send us if we mess up, but that's another story and another show. So,
But this is so true, not just for a lifetime, though, but for each moment. I mean, part of what I think we often don't realize or recognize is really how fragile and ever-changing everything is.
Yeah.
That even our body is just this collection of cells, which is a collection of atoms and photons, and they're constantly moving, they're constantly in motion. And we see this quite easily in children, but we can see it in adults as well.
Absolutely.
How easily and quickly we change and how quickly situations change.
Yeah.
And so for us just to take that moment and recognize it's the song from your senior year, right?
We may never pass this way again.
That's right.
Seals and the crofts.
That's right.
Now, the number 8 is nobody really has it all figured out. Even the ones who look like they do.
I think this is important. I think so many people, I'll raise my hand. There was a long time where like I said at the top of the show,
you thought everybody else had it figured out except you.
And I didn't get the script. I mean, what's going on? I'm running around with a chicken with my head cut off, looking for the script that everybody else got.
Seem to have and be very confident in.
Right.
But the truth is,
nobody has it figured
out. There are people who look like they do.
Oh, sure.
And there are people that act like they do.
Yep.
But a lot of that is actually egoic. A lot of that is the ego.
A lot of it's egoic. And then I think hopefully there comes a point where you are able to, and I'm still working on this one, right, to completely rest in whatever your greater being is. Whether that's your higher self, your super conscious, God, the universe, whatever it may be, to rest in something higher and to trust in it. Then you can appear like you maybe have it all figured out because you're trusting something that does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Something beyond the small ego self,
the little
self, right? To the
lowercase s.
To the bigger self,
right,
which is within all of us. We're talking today about some realities about life that nobody warns you about. Nobody tells you these things until sometimes it's too late. Some people live a lifetime of 70, 80, 90 years, and they don't have this stuff figured out. They struggle. So we're talking about it today. Which ones stand out for you? Those are the ones that you may really want to focus on. We've got more here on Strategies for a Living, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
We all have problems every day. We all need help along the way.
We need strategies, strategies, strategies for living radio.
Oh, welcome back in. I'm a proud graduate of Crumplebeck Kindergarten.
Okay.
David
I was wondering
McMillian
where that was going.
and Lauren Leon McMillian. Well, I thought I was through. I mean, we graduated. I got a certificate.
And then
I mean,
you
I
were
had
going to go to work?
I had a little hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worried about how am I going to support myself. And then turns out the reality after summertime was I got walked across the street and to the school, and what am I doing here? What's going on here? I finished this.
No.
No.
And then how many more years did you do after that?
Lord, let's see. Well, 8 years of Christ the King, 4 years of Jesuit, LSUS. That took about 4.5 years,
Yep.
And then Louisiana Tech and a master's degree. And then
you went for a couple more.
And it's,
And hopefully, you still are, just not.
I would stay. I honestly now, as I'm joking about, I thought I was, but I would be a professional student if I could.
I think you are.
I think I am. Yeah, I think I am.
Yeah.
And
from my observation.
And that is the healthiest way to live, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
To be a curious student and to remain a curious student right up to the end.
Sure.
Because
there's always going to be more.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
There's no way we can figure it all out in one lifetime in this limited form.
Yeah. I recently went through a health crisis.
Yeah.
And I'm better, getting better, recovering, getting there. But as difficult as that was, I tried to tune in and learn from it because I was, I kind of got sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And there was a point that I was wondering, is this, am I done?
Right.
And so
I wasn't going to let you be.
Yeah, thank you for that. And you're taking good care of me now. So
that's right.
Yeah. So we're talking today about realities about life that nobody warns you about. Number 9 is your circle will get smaller as you grow. And that's often a sign of clarity, not loss.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think some people fight against this because they think, well, the longer I live, the bigger my circle needs to be. But the truth is, your circle will get smaller as you grow. It's in direct proportion.
Yeah. I think hopefully depth often replaces breadth in relationship as you grow. And I think one of the things, I've always been very introvert and I've always had a very small, tight group. If I had a group.
Well, you're
small.
picky.
Yeah, well, I am.
You're pretty picky.
What you mean by that, huh?
I live with you, remember? You're just pretty picky. But that's not a bad thing.
No, I mean, because I really, really value my energy.
I've often said, and I often say to you, you're an old soul.
Yeah.
You showed up with, even though you're a lot younger than me, many, many, many times, you have a lot more wisdom in stuff. And I mean, sometimes I scratch my head and say, how does she know this? But
one of the things that I did, and I think people do struggle with, is, as you grow and as you change, you can't take everybody up the mountain with you.
No, because a lot of people aren't ready to go.
Right.
Right.
And you have to be willing to let them go and trust, knowing as you climb the mountain,
the universe is unfolding as it should.
Yeah, there will be others who will be magnetized towards you.
Right.
In your favor.
Number 10, healing takes longer than you expect.
Oh yeah.
And
I don't think we're ever finished.
And you're right. And it's not a straight line. Healing takes longer than you expect, and it's not a straight line.
No.
Many, many times I had a conversation with people in both the counseling room and the coaching room. Mm-hmm. And many times if I have a whiteboard available, I will say, we think change is I'm here and I want to get here, and I draw a line. I draw a straight line.
Yeah.
But in reality, you can still get there, but it's going to be a very jagged line.
I would add that. I would make that 3-dimensional. So
okay.
yes, it's a jagged line in the sense that you kind of take 2 steps forward and then back. It goes up and down as you progress. But I also think it's spherical. Would that be the adjective phrase?
I don't know.
Spiral. It's a spiral.
Okay.
Healing is often a spiral in addition to the jagged line.
I like spherical. I don't know if that's a word, but it makes sense to me.
Anyway, and what I mean by that is oftentimes what we do is as we heal something, and then if you imagine a spiral going around and up, right?
Yep.
You come around to the same location that you were where you had healed something, and it crops up again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, but you're higher.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. You're higher on the spiral, but you're still able touching that same wound.
Right.
And so it's like peeling an onion, but to remember that when you hit that wound again, and it might feel like regression, but most of the time, if you've done some work, what it means is that you've done enough work that you've come back around and you're ready to tackle it, more of it again.
Right.
Because I think of it, healing, the word healing means whole.
Yep.
Right?
All of it.
And so to truly be healed, we have to be whole together. And that's not something we can do in a lifetime.
Right.
But we can
start it. We can work towards it. Number 11, you are responsible for your own happiness. No one is coming to fix your life.
Yup. This was another big one for me.
Yeah. And
I learned that.
This is one as a therapist, Lauren, or as a coach that, we have to be very careful about, because some people have an idea that, okay, well, I'm in your office now, fix me.
Right. Save me.
And how many times have I said, I don't have a magic wand, I don't have magic dust. I used to have a magic wand in my office, but a kid stole it, so I don't have one anymore. Yeah. Number 12, life doesn't wait until you're ready. Life keeps moving, with or without you. Now, I double asterisked one earlier.
Yeah.
I'm going to triple asterisk this one because that's a reality.
It is.
Life goes on.
I don't want people to hear that as you're going to miss the boat completely.
No.
The lesson will continue to present itself.
But are you going to catch it right now?
Right.
Yeah.
When
is
are
this
you
your
catch
time?
It? When are you? And readiness is a myth.
Right. Yeah.
Right. You get ready as you.
So many times, and again, that's back to that fear thing. So many times in situations, you just have to jump in.
Yep. Yeah.
And as you jump in, you begin to figure out, okay, well,
this is how you learn as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, realities that nobody tells us. Nobody tells us these things, and yet there are realities about life that nobody warns us about. If you miss some of these, don't forget, you can catch the program, any of our programs. We're in podcasts. So if you do the podcast thing and you go to the place that you get your podcast, search Strategies for Living, and we'll be there. And you can listen to all.
Yeah, anytime.
And there you go. Right here on Strategies for Living. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back in. I say it's my favorite part of the show to tease you a lot. I think it's one of my favorite parts of the show because of this bumper music.
Oh, yeah?
I like the bumper music.
Maybe you could play it earlier in the show?
No. It wouldn't be right. Wouldn't be right.
It wouldn't fit, huh?
Wouldn't fit, no.
Right.
I'd be trying to close out the show midway, and it just
we
wouldn't
don't
work.
need that.
All right, so we've talked today about realities about life that nobody warns us about. What is your takeaway from these 12 things that we've gone over today, that we've looked at today?
I think they're all very important points to and lessons that we can learn from life. I think it's important to remember that really, truly, none of us, not one of us, was given a script or instructions. It's about, life is about being malleable, right?
Yeah.
Being able to let life soften you
Yep.
and stretch you, and
It's an
let go.
integrative process.
Yeah.
And we've got to integrate what we learn along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's an adaptive process. So
Right.
we've got to adapt to the world as we wake up today and experience it, and what we've learned and what we know and what situation is in front of us.
And more often than not, it's about letting go
Yeah.
rather than of obtaining anything. Right?
Yeah,
it's about being able to open to, wow, what else is there?
There's a saying in AA, let go and let God.
Yeah.
Great saying. Folks, thank you for tuning into Strategies for Living. We appreciate you, and we appreciate our sponsors who make it all possible. The Robinson Film Center, and Azalea Cleaners, and Pintail Roofing,
Oof.
and Learning RX. We train your brain. And the Balanced Life Wellness Center. Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of the Godfather, alligator Italian sausage, and some pretty good muffies too. SRT, Sales Training, Uprising, Addiction Center, and Mira, Direct Primary Care. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call to make, who would you call? And what would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillian, I'm David McMillian. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.